I mean, our first one here is, what's it like owning and operating a car business?
How much time you have?
How much time do you want?
I think I gotta readjust here.
Okay. Hey, Tim, this car is running and you left the keys in it.
I got security with me. What's somebody gonna do?
That's a good point.
Sam,
Yeah.
we're going to Hinsdale.
Oh, boy.
Your famous sticky buns.
Oh, I do love it.
Yeah?
I am a sucker for a cinnamon roll.
It's important. So how many times a week do we do this? How many times a week do we go get breakfast or lunch or coffee for the guys?
I mean, it feels like once or twice a week. It's a nice little treat. I can't complain.
It's important for culture.
I am curious, though, what was the beginning of Olsen Motorsports?
Oh, the beginning of the Olsen Motorsports was my wife. That was probably, it wasn't the height of the financial crisis. Well, we had a couple of them, 8, and we had another one in like 12, 13, right? So it was the back end of sort of all the foreclosure market stuff that was happening and in bad economies. And I was working at an independent shop, and I was also on the teams.
With the two leading Porsches. It was fourth place in the GT class. Richard Leitz in the number 66, one of the TRG cars.
And my wife's like, you need to be home. When you're a motorsports race mechanic, you're on the road 200 to 300 days a year. Makes it hard for a home life. And for me, when you come out of that sort of industry and get into the mechanics industry and you go working on a line somewhere, whether it's Porsche or Bob's Garage or, whatever, it was like a little bit of PTSD for me because on the teams, it's more, it's like a Marine Corps or the fire department or something. You got the guys, you got the camaraderie of the guys, you got the adrenaline and the highs and the lows of motorsports, which are incredible. And then you go from there and you're, working on a line somewhere, changing clutch in a car, and it's just mind numbing. You want to kill yourself. There's no thrill. There's no something to be a part of. You're just a number on somebody's paycheck. And some things were happening in life at that point in time, and the economy wasn't good. And my wife, Janet, she empowered me to start a business, which I knew nothing about. I didn't know, how to open a business checking account. It's hilarious. So she empowered me to do it, and she gave me the faith and support in myself that I could do it, even though I had no business owning a business at that point in time in my life. I was 10 years ago, so I was 35. So yeah, she kind of empowered me to do it, and on the teams, I was kind of a shock guy and a setup guy. So I got on board with JRZ Suspension, and they needed somebody to service and support shocks, race or stateside, which they didn't have at the time, at a high level. So I bought a shock dyno and a bunch of O-rings and got after it. And that's kind of how the business started. It started in a little 1,200 square foot unit on the west side of the city, and same complex that we're in right now. And one thing led to another, and 10 years later, here we are. It was never supposed to be this big. It was never supposed to be like this. But business just kind of evolved over the years, and that's how it started.
I mean, now that you've been doing this for 10 years now, what have you learned about it? What's it like?
What's the business like? What's the automotive business like? It's chaos. It's you try to control the chaos as much as possible, but it really is chaos. It's a hard business to be in. It's a very difficult and tough business to be in. It's like the restaurant business or anything else where we sell units of time, or units of something, and you're chasing that all the time. So it can be extremely lucrative. It could also be extremely costly, and there's a lot of ups and downs in it. But yeah, it's a good business to have. It can be profitable, but it has incredible challenges, parts supply and there's a lot of outsourcing what we do, with interiors and paint and body and forecasting all of that and working around other people's time frames, and it's taught me a lot. But yeah, it's a good business to own, but I don't think that's for everybody.
Speaking of, what you've learned, what's some personal growth that you've had from running a business?
Oh, everything. It changed me as a person. It made me a lot calmer. I'm an Aries. So, I was born in late March, so I'm an Aries, and I'm about as intense and competitive as you can get as an individual. So it's calmed me down. It's, one of my gifts is the ability to manage, extreme pressure and extreme stress. And that doesn't always correlate into employee management. So early on, I always tell people I'm sorry to all my previous employees when I was young in business. I'm sorry. The problem was me, not them. So I've grown as an individual. I've grown as a business owner. I've grown as a leader. I've grown as a stepdad. I've grown as a husband. It's all because of this. It's put me in some incredibly difficult and challenging situations, and really molded me into who I am today. One thing I tell my guys, you gotta show up different. Every single day, you have to show up different than you did yesterday. And I think a lot of problems with business ownership nowadays is it's the CEO, it's the president of the company, it's the leadership and the management of the staff and of the people. That's a constantly evolving and changing thing. It's dangerous if you're a business owner, because at the end of the day, you just want to pay people to do a good job, and screw you, I told you to do it, you got to do it. That's not how it works. So you have to humble yourself. Very wise dear friend of mine who was a customer of mine, I asked him one day, I said, how do you do it? How do you own 5-6 companies and do all this other kind of stuff? He sat down and told me, he goes, you're not that important. So that's one big thing that I've had to learn, is to humble myself, that I'm not that important. My employees are important, my culture is important, and my business is important, and I'm just a number on that paycheck just like them. And I answer to a higher purpose and a higher good. So personal growth for me was 100% a tipping point and the turning point of the business.
After these years, what's been the biggest challenge that Olsen Motorsports has faced?
People. The biggest challenge was the people, and that started with me. So I think I was the biggest challenge, molding me as a CEO, molding me into what the company needed me to be. So I think once I overcome that personal challenge, and the second challenge was culture. It's impossible to have a growing business. As one of our core values is grow or die. You don't grow if you don't try, and you die if you do the same thing every day. So culture for us, and having a good team culture, the right people, learning how to hire the right people, learning how to interview well and hire well and hire the right people, pay them well. That was one of our biggest things. So I say culture, for sure, culture.
How do you feel your youth and your upbringing has shaped you as a leader and a business owner as you've gone forward?
I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about my youth because there's nothing to talk about. I grew up I'm adopted first and foremost. So when you're adopted, you can't pick your parents. And let's just say my youth was something that shouldn't be talked about and discussed, and I'll leave it at that. But how that shaped me into who I am today, it made me a survivor. I was on my own at a very young age, and it made me a survivor. It made me competitive. It put that dog in me to never quit, and it also taught me how not to act. Sometimes you can't pick your father figures, and I never had one, but it taught me how not to act and how not to treat people, and it taught me that the only person that's gonna get me through is me. So my youth shaped me from that aspect, but my youth made me a survivor. And in business ownership, you just have to survive.
What is your proudest accomplishment from both your motorsports and your time at Olsen?
Team culture. That's culture is not something that I think people spend enough time on. But Sam, I don't know what you think about our culture, but I think it's freaking awesome. Like I really do. I think, we're on the west side of Chicago, so yeah, you have to take our culture with a grain of salt, but everybody's an asshole, and it's shut up, asshole, get out of my face, and screw you. And there's a lot of F-bombs that are thrown around at our store, and a lot of people yelling at each other, but we do it in the brotherhood of our culture, and everybody means well. Everybody's there to succeed. Everybody's there to win. They understand the vision. They understand where we're going. They have a shared fate. They have a shared focus. And I think for us, culture is 100% our proudest moment when we learn how to do that and execute it at a high level.
What's your goals and your vision for the next years for Olsen Motorsports?
Oh, it changes. Unfortunately, you can sit down and you can say, here's our 1 year plan, our 5 year plan, our 10-year plan. But unfortunately, those are just goals for you to go after. It keeps you steered in the right direction. But the one thing you cannot, in our business at least, the one thing you cannot predict is the economy, and you cannot predict the trend. So we're in a lifestyle business, and a very trending business. So it's difficult for us to predict the trends and predict, the economy. So that always changes, in terms of 1 year, 5 year, 90-day goals. We have our goals of business and revenue of where we want to get to. We've usually exceeded those. And then we have our media goals. So for us, we're very social media and media driven, and our goals for that are 1 million followers on YouTube, right?
That's right.
We got a long journey in front of us, Sam. But yeah, for us, our goal is to get to our company as a marketing company and not necessarily a mechanic shop. So that's what we would. If we get ourselves to a marketing company to where we have a very large presence online, people know us, trust us, then you can take any single product you want, plug and play to generate revenue.
Got a fun question here for you.
No such thing.
All right, I wanted to surprise you with one.
Oh,
if
God.
you had to pick a car engine combination to piss off the most people, what would you build?
Okay, that's a good question. To piss off the most, well, it'd have to be, the engine combination would have to be Ford, right? Everybody knows that's my favorite manufacturer. We're driving a Ford right now.
That's right.
So I would probably take like an EcoBoost and put it in like a 944. That would be the ultimate. I'm not one of those guys that takes a Porsche and puts an LS3 in it, but I'd probably take like an EcoBoost and put it in a 944. First of all, I would never do that. That's one of my things. I'm not a car guy in terms of, cars are my business. It's like the shoemaker who wears shoes with holes in his feet. I go home at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is think about cars. So that's probably what I would do. So we're in Hinsdale right now, and we're going to pull up to Tony's. And Tony's is this great little hidden gem tucked up in here on the west side of the city. And it has the world's best cinnamon rolls. Wait till you see these things. We're gonna go there and buy everything they have.
Hey, Tim, this car is running and you left the keys in it.
Yeah. I always leave my car running. I leave the keys in and I leave all my stuff right here.
Why?
I'm in Chicago, but I got security with me. What's somebody gonna do?
That's a good point.
You jump in this car, what are you gonna do? When you turn around, you look in the rearview mirror and you see that. It's safe.
Oh my God, Sam. Dude. Check this out. If I can open this box. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready? Ready to dig into this? Unfortunately, I can't have any. I gotta keep my 45-year-old dad bod in check.
My 31-year-old dad bod is coming along nicely.
Oh, dude. When you get my age, I'm 45, so when you get my age, like, you wake up in the morning and you can't have, like, crepes anymore. It sucks. But it's part of getting old, man. I look at this stuff and I get cellulite. You know, but the guys work hard. I think they're gonna love this.
I know you said this was a longer topic, so what do you think is wrong with the industry?
The auto industry?
Yeah.
Ownership. It's all ownership. Yeah, we kind of briefly touched on the fact that it can be very lucrative, and I think people get, there's so much wrong. People get, on the manufacturer level, they get greedy. And you can see it now. Like, you can see, I don't know if you saw Whistling Diesel's Cybertruck. Did you see that?
I did.
Did you see how, like,
It completely fell apart.
yeah, it fell apart. Like, he tried to pull somebody out of a ditch with his hitch, and it ripped the whole rear of the car apart. And it's not a knock against Tesla. I love Tesla. I think they're great. But you try to build a car as cheap as possible. Some of it's the manufacturers doing stuff really cheap, and then a lot of it's the political climate, is really made it hard for cars. Look at diesels, with the DEF. Diesels used to be, diesel was the thing to have. Run for hundreds of thousands of miles, and they were great. And now, with the DEF and the EPA based around diesels, I mean, those things go 50, 60,000 miles, and they need 20 grand worth of work with new, all the sensors and all the CATs and all those systems. And I get it, the worst, I hate the way diesels smell, like these old trucks and stuff, but you got to remember who you're selling to. You're selling, diesel is for blue collar, right? So you get some blue collar guy and he's making, 80 to 120, depending on, on where he lives. And you buy this brand new truck and you finance it, you use it for work, and you're struggling to pay the note and use it for business. And then you got to put 20 grand into it, for just so it smells good and so it reduces carbon. So it makes it really hard. Same with electric vehicles. We're kind of getting forced into electric vehicles, and they're basically throwaway cars. You buy a car, and a Tesla or whatever, whatever it is, and you got to put a battery pack in, and a battery pack's 20 grand. So I think a lot of it is greed, as well as the political climate from that. And then so that's what's wrong with the industry, trying to do as cheap as possible and cut corners and cut costs and some of the political climate. And as far as the independent automotive repair business, it's the same thing. It's greed. I think a lot of business owners don't invest back into their business at the level that they should, whether it's tooling or people or the right support or culture built around their people. They just get it wrong. They try to scale it too quick, or they try to scale it too fast, or they do the exact opposite, and they don't want to pay their employees. They expect their employees to work really hard and really fast, like I do. I mean, I expect my employees to perform at a very high level, but I pay them. I think that we pay our staff more than anybody in the space that we're in. We provide health care complimentary to all of our employees, 3 weeks PTO. I think we do a good job with that. We don't chintz on consumables. We don't chintz on equipment. Money's no object in terms of how do we produce the most amount of product or service in the least amount of time. And you don't do that by being an asshole. You don't do that by work harder. You do it by let's be more efficient. Let's have better uses of our time and all of that stuff. So I think business owners get in their own way. Business owners don't educate themselves, and they don't better themselves. I think they need to look deep within themselves and say, how do I be a better business owner? How do I contribute better to my community? How do I build better culture? And how do I build better employees? I think the lifespan of employees nowadays, I saw something online, was 3 to 5 years, but trending more towards 2 to 3 years. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with turning over your staff every few years, and the only way you're gonna do that is have systems and processes, so you can get new staff in and get them up to speed like 80% of the way in 6, 7, 8 hours. And then you build those people, and sometimes you're going to lose. I lost a great guy, shop foreman, one of the better guys I've ever had. I lost him to CTA. I couldn't compete with the CTA pension. 20 years and get pension for life and health care for life. Good for him. Jose was a great guy. Couldn't be more proud of them. I couldn't be more proud of their road to success and what they've done, and that's what it's all about. You as a business owner, you started your business at some point in time. You really did. And somebody gave you a shot or gave you the motivation to do it. And it's all about who's next. If I sat there and I said, hey, I don't want my employees to go start their own business, I implore them to do that. Because if we don't focus as a business owners, if we don't focus on who's next, there's nobody to pick the torch up and run with it. But we can't do it forever. All right, let's go get these guys. Let's go get some sugar in these guys. Should we save one for Cam?
I don't know what the hell it's gonna look like on the other end.
All right, let's go, Black. Nicholas. These are about as fancy as your hair. This is a little pick-me-up for you. Ooh. Come on, how do you not like it? You just came from Greece. I bet you didn't have these in Greece.
No, we didn't.
Right?
Cinnamon rolls looking good.
Cinnamon rolls. And they're about as fresh as your hair, son. Made this morning. Edward, I know you want some of this.
That's it.
You want two?
No.
You sure?
Yes. I'm trying to lose a little.
No. Not today, buddy. Come on. Olsen? Dude, look at these things.
Hold on, let me get the insulin pan.
You're gonna need a.
I'm gonna do a little one.
No, you can do this big one right here.
I can touch it. Here.
You want two?
I need some pen.
No. I'm gonna need that though if I eat one of these. You want two?
No, maybe later. Thank you, sir.
Alex. Que pasa, way? Dude.
Oh, thank you. These are good.
You want two? I bought an extra
I'll take two.
because I wanted you to really flat rate this out today.
Okay, I'll take two. My hands are filthy.
Jeffrey, I should have bought you three.
Thank you.
Now take the big one.
Oh, no.
You need the calories.
These are pretty good.
They're not bad, right?
Where are they from?
Tony's in Hinsdale, downtown Hinsdale. Donald, come on, bro. Take the big one.
No, that's for Dave.
Oh. Come on, bro. Take the big one.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll take two.
You gotta take the big one. I made a mistake. Alex! I gotta take one of them back. Because I miscounted. Fuck. Better eat that, Jeff, man. You need to put some skin on those bones.
I think I'm gonna put some of this.
Oh, look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. Homies. Bro, you wanna?
Oh yeah, obviously.
You gotta take the big one.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Oh, save the best for last. That's right.
Yo, that's what I thought.
You get the scrubs. You get whatever. You get the one that nobody else wanted.
That's what it is.
All right. Now that we get some sugar in us, all right, we're gonna flat rate all this stuff out and get it done, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it.
No, now I don't want to hear any complaining the rest of the day. You got your cinnamon rolls. What? I'm an instant. No, it's anytime you have a delicious product like that, it speeds up production, right? Okay. I swear to God, if Cam pees on one of these plants, I'm gonna be pissed.
Can't be kicked out.
Good boy. Good boy. Come on.
So I guess now that we're back in the shop, you got any closing remarks from our conversation we were having in the car?
Be humble and be awesome. That's it.
I love it. It's the Olsen Motorsports way, baby. Oh, thank you.
Yeah?
Oh.
You gotta think outside the box some.
Oh, yeah, that's thinking outside the box.
I thought I could start a business at Christmas time. I go around to your house and tell your cakes run real fast.
What is this?
My turn, the breakfast sandwich.
Bro!
Yeah, so you finish it off with the dessert, and I got
Oh, dude, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
the sandwich. No, I got everyone.
Thank you so much. Is it now? Hey, is this cellulite approved? Like it's not gonna
Oh no, yeah, they make
not
it
gonna
every
put an
morning.
extra pound on me?
No, avocado, ham, it's all the good
dude,
stuff.
you got the
Little
good
bit of
shit.
cheese, yeah.
You got the good stuff, and I brought you the sugar.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Now that is what I'm talking about culture. That is team culture. When you come in the door and you show up late for work and you bring in cinnamon rolls for your employees, and then one of your newer employees buys breakfast for everybody, that is something you cannot buy.